Alright, I'm gonna try this again. I tried to about 2 hours ago and it's hard to get any privacy in this house. So I baked a cake and I set the timer and I have 27 minutes. So I'm sure I can get this video done in that amount of time. And if you hear something in the background, it's my mom talking on the phone right against the other side of the wall. So hopefully I can get through this in time without being disturbed. So this video is about my experience with growing up in a family of censors as an INFP. I'm going to try to keep this on topic and not trail off into childhood stories and stuff like that, and just focus on my experiences with censors and being surrounded by them for most of my life. So I didn't know anything about MBTI until about 2 years ago. So before that, I knew I was different, but I didn't really think much of it. I just accepted, I'm a weirdo. I don't know why I don't fit in, with my groups and, I guess even my family. And I knew I wasn't adopted. I've seen baby pictures, but, being the only intuitive in a family of censors does kind of make you feel like you're a bit out of place and a bit like you're an alien a bit. Sorry if I'm talking fast. I'm trying to get this video done and I hope you can hear me. So I had most of my family take the test after I learned about MBTI. So I know my mom is an ESFJ. My brother, I could barely pin down to take the test because this is not his type thing. He is an ESFP. And my dad, I know, is introverted and sensing, but when he took the test, what he ended up with didn't match what he is. And I actually told my mom about it, and both her and I agreed from reading the description. It's not what he is. If I had to guess, I'm gonna try to have him take the test again just because, I like to know, what types of people around me are. But if I had to guess, I would say he was ISFJ or ISTJ. Though, I don't really know. He seems like a perceiver, but yeah, anyway. I also had my grandmother take the test, and she is an ISFJ. My family focuses on very concrete things. The conversations revolve around everyday things, grounded in reality. I like to talk about what the people we know are up to and gossip and such like that. And now when we have family conversations gathered together, it's usually my mom, my brother, and my dad talking about things that interest censors. They talk a lot about house renovations for some reason. I guess that's a thing. They're always talking about what they can do to the house and, building stuff and just stuff like that it doesn't really interest me. And I guess that kind of contributes also to my being even quieter when I'm kind of unnaturally quiet unless I have something to say. And when they're talking about censor conversation that I'm not incredibly interested in, I just kind of tend to zone out and, go into my thoughts in my mind, and that happens a lot. And I feel kind of bad that I'm not interacting more in the family, but it's just kind of, I think doing things around the house cleaning and very, in the environment type thing is the stuff they really pay attention to. And my dad, about 80% of his conversation to me is reminding me of stuff I need to do about the house. Cleaning, cooking, stuff like that. And my mom especially notices when things aren't clean, and I don't really work that way. Like, I don't notice things in my environment as much because I'm in my head more. And I think there was a saying online that an INFP won't notice a stain on the carpet, but they'll notice a stain in their private creative notebook or something like that. So, I dropped my pen again. So, yeah, I think noticing what needs to be done around the house isn't really an INFP's forte. Like, I'm not doing it on purpose. I think my mom thinks I'm doing it on purpose, and I'm not. I literally don't notice. I just don't notice it. I'm normally just happy doing my own thing until, things have to be cleaned. Yeah, so that's one thing about sensors. They don't dream as much as intuitives. They're not as much in their head as intuitives. They, are more into the here and now and the physical environment and, just what needs to be done every day. The basic little everyday things that intuitives don't always think about or realize. And about communication between sensors and intuitives, I don't really remember. I have a terrible memory, so I started writing journals when I was about 14, or else I would forget things. But I guess when I was younger, after a couple of times of talking to them about my inside thoughts and things that were important to me, I learned that they couldn't really be trusted to appreciate them, and so I kind of just stopped talking about my inside world. I think I'm generally a private person anyway, except for telling my secrets online. But yeah, I don't really talk to them about the things inside my head anymore because some of them might try to understand and some of them wouldn't. They'd just be like, whatever. But my mom might try to understand, but it usually doesn't get there. And I know sometimes she's said she thinks she understands me and figured me out, but the motive she gave to me were way off. So, but yeah, that goes for people in general. I don't tell people about my inside thoughts or things that are important to me in kind of a fragile way that if I told someone it and they totally shut the idea down, it would really hurt me or something. So I normally don't tell people about special things like that if, number one, they aren't gonna understand what I'm talking to them about, and number two, if they're not going to appreciate what I'm about to tell them, or they just don't want to hear it. So those two reasons are why I don't tell people about things that are really important to me. I just keep it to myself. But yeah, about me meeting other intuitives, I don't know exactly who I've met, who is and isn't, because I don't like to completely type people unless I'm sure. But I do know, I do know my first experience with the NF connection was when I met an INFJ for the first time online. And we started talking and we became friends. And with the NF connection, it was just like, wow. It was like, it's hard to explain, but sometimes when you get that connection between someone else with your own temperament, it's like really amazing. And I think I'm sure I've met other NFs, but the only other time I felt a special like an NF connection was with an ENFP, I'm pretty sure. He's kind of an acquaintance friend of ours, and we went to Six Flags and we were like talking in line about something, and then I had talked about something earlier with his, I think it was his NT brother, and when I talked to him about the same thing, there came a point where it's just like that wow moment when I just like felt connected. I'm like, I know this is an NF connection, and I'd already had half type like him and his brothers, so I knew who's in ENFP, or at least I guess. So yeah, those are the only two times I felt an NF connection, and I think with most of the friends I've had have been SFs. I think when I was growing up, I was thinking about this the other day, I'm pretty sure my best friend was an ESFJ, or she was at least an EFJ. So she was either an S or an N, but I'm pretty sure she was an S. My other best friend was probably ISFP or ISFJ. And I had another friend when I was a teen who was, I'm pretty sure, ISFJ. And my current friend, who I get along well with, who is younger than me, but I had her take the test, and she is an ISFP, and I think we get along well together, and you can tell there is a kind of connection, and probably because of the FI. But yeah, we get along well together, and it's like you can almost feel the connection, and just as you like get to reach it, we kind of go like this. So we'll be like talking about something and feeling like we have a lot in common, and then we'll have completely different views on something, but we're still both easygoing, so it works out. I get along with them well. I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm losing my voice or what. So yeah, I think I don't know if I've had other N friends. If I have, like, I haven't typed them, or else I haven't gotten close enough to them to realize, if they're another intuitive. I have a lot of acquaintances, but not a lot of people I consider true friends. But yeah, I think it wasn't until I had that first NF connection with the INFJ that I realized that how much I actually craved a deep connection and communication with people, because I didn't really think that was possible. I just thought that was meant to just keep it in my head, and that most people don't understand it or really care. But yeah, I am always I'm always searching to find a deep connection and someone I can talk about deep things with, and it's very, very hard to find someone like that. If I had had another intuitive in my family, I probably would have been understood more, but I don't know if I would have had the same problems if I'd grown up with an intuitive family as a sensor family. I do think intuitives are more rare than sensors, and it shows, with my life at least, because my whole family is sensor, and most of my friends are sensors. And I don't know what my life would have been like if I would have had another intuitive in my family to connect to, but I simply don't know. But yeah, growing up, I think it would have helped me a lot to have another N person, especially NF, to connect to. But c'est la vie. I know some people say they want to marry someone who is like reminds them of their father or their brother or something, and I actually don't want that. Like, I don't want to marry my mom or my dad or my brother. I've grown up with them my whole life, and I don't really want someone who is anything like that. I want someone who's completely different. And I don't know what this has to do with growing up with a sensor family, but yeah. I think I would definitely want my significant other to be an intuitive, and I don't even know where I'm going with this. But anyway, I hope that was a little bit of insight into an INFP who grew up with a sensor family. Yeah, so hopefully this went somewhere and you got something from it. If you did, I would appreciate you leaving a comment below. And that's it.